It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. And if you haven't already, make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. Also, make sure you find us on your favorite podcast stations such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Just simply type in Dishin Days and take us along while you're running the treadmill or pumping iron in the gym or for that long car ride to work or Sunday fun day. You can listen to us gaggle about this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. And of course, don't forget to buy our merch. We have a lot of merchandise available to you on our dishindays.threadless.com site. You can check out such merchandise as this. We have our Meliswin Possess Dishin Days logo and serving a full dish. Wear it proudly on a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, maybe a beach towel, or maybe on a notebook. Just go and check out dishindays.threadless.com right now to get your merchandise today. And also, please make sure you show support to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., over at JLJ Media on the YouTubes. Go like, subscribe, and follow, and check out all of your soap opera moments. We have a recap of Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital. He also has some original audio dramas, so make sure you check all of those out over at JLJ Media. And you guys, all throughout the show, we of course want to hear from you, so make sure you comment below. And who knows, you may see your comment appear on the screen. See, sometimes you can actually say extra things when you're the one running the buttons. Speaking of the person that's running the buttons, Michael Mattis is off being a photographer somewhere, taking some celebrities' photos so that he can put them on Shutterstock and make a whopping 10 cents off of it. So that is enough to get him not even an extra biscuit at Popeyes. So shout out to Michael Mattis for making sure that all magazines and local publications have a photo of your favorite celeb for their magazine.
Yep.
Look at that. All right. Well, let's get right into it. What did you guys think of this week's episodes of Days?
I liked it. It wasn't like a crazy exciting week, but I liked it. I think we got some movement on some things, so
yeah, we're ramping up. It's the calm before the explosions.
Like I told y'all, we could have all took a day off this week. It was okay. It was an info week. I don't even know if it was an info week. It was just kind of like a day in the life of the folks in Salem. Well, then let's break it on down.
Well, stay tuned for our exciting show.
Right? Well, hopefully throughout the show I won't be talking to myself because dead silence doesn't keep a show moving right along, does it? All right, so let's get into it. It is now time. Oh boy, this green screen, honey. Okay, whatever. You guys can see it. Yeah. It is now time to start
Dishin
Days.
Well, girl, we could have had it if Araceli probably still had a piece of spaghetti in her mouth. All right.
Spaghetti.
What was it?
It's leftover Chinese food from last night.
Leftover Chinese food. That is a risk, and hopefully you will make it throughout the show.
And for those who are keeping up from my PSA last week, my commitment for Lent lasted a whole week.
Oh.
Commitment for lunch.
Lent.
Oh, girl, she already done.
I had to tutor the child.
So you need it a little extra.
I broke. It broke, guys.
Didn't even last 2 weeks.
I broke.
We'll pray about it. All right, so let's get into our storylines for this week. Oh, that Demera.
There's a lot of them.
There is a lot
Literally
of them.
going down a really long list.
But
Who's
there
alive? Who's dead? Who do we think is dead?
But there was just one. Just one. And first, first of all, I want to go back. When I was saying, "Ooh, how cool it would have been if it was Stefano who was the devil," and and fans were like, "Let him rest in peace. Leave Joe alone."
I knew you were going to.
And guess who we talked about this week?
Yes.
And
Yes.
can we give Anna her snaps?
Oh, now you're giving out snaps?
Her flowers, whatever, because she was like right on the money there.
Anna's been killing it the last few. They've been giving her really good stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Steve and John and Marlena were told about Megan. Did
Well,
anyone
no,
else realize that?
John and Steve interacted with her. It was Marlena.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah.
because they busted into the thing. Oh,
Yeah.
So then
see.
they
It was
would've
Marlena
all-
who was told. That's why she kind of had that "you're Megan" kind of.
Yeah, they would have all had to be debriefed anyways. But yeah, this was kind of filling in the gaps.
And I know Michael. I almost text Michael Mattis to say I know he hated that part where it was like it happened beyond Salem,
Oh yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, Michael Mattis would have loved that."
Yeah. I'm glad they finally explained it, because that was a pet peeve of mine last week, where I was like, they didn't come back from beyond Salem and tell Tony, "Oh my God, your sister's alive." You know what I mean? And then, I mean, I guess they gave a reason for it, even though it was a little.
Yeah,
I could have done without it, but.
I still find the storyline very interesting, and just like they said up in heaven, they were not going to remember any of that. So the last thing they remember, where I guess the moments right before they died, they only went over Marlena's. But I'm glad they also just kind of recapped everything of Megan got the bodies and injected them with something, and been monitoring their brain activity, and of course they all thank you for explaining stuff, because if not, we would have been like,
I am glad we're done. I mean, I think I said this last week. I'm glad we're done with that part of it. Like, I didn't mind the heaven stuff. I thought it was kind of fun and campy and stuff, but I'm glad we're done with it.
It was a good little bookend right there,
Yeah.
but then let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm now just wondering how Kate, Marlena, and Kayla fit into Megan's plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we should go back over this. Justin, when we discussed who we thought had the orchid, you thought it was Megan too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Me too. I was like, I think that's who has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the beginning, I think the reason I thought it was somebody else was because I think the orchid was just in play for such a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had it only been introduced in the last month or two, then I would have said Megan as well. But because Kristen had held on to it for since when? How many months now?
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So that's why I kind of thought, can I say now who I thought it was?
Sure.
I thought it was Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you thought Rachel sold it.
Right.
I thought it was Rachel. I
think Michael did too. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael and I thought that it was Rachel because she was the only person who actually had overheard Brady and Kristen talking about an orchid. And, little Rachel, being her mama's daughter, would, of course, want something valuable.
Yeah.
And would probably take it without knowing what it was.
Yeah.
This feels like Little Sierra.
Yeah.
I could see that if they went in a different direction. I could kind of see that.
And only because it was only because that orchid has just been in play for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, Megan is the obvious person to have stolen it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing research. I don't know for what we have coming up. She's compiling some sort of research, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Listen, ain't nobody known that she's been dead for all this time. I think she's had plenty of time for research.
Yeah.
And she needed 3 people to use as guinea pigs to see if whatever.
Well, we're missing a lot of pieces.
But out of all the people who have died since 1985?
Well, I think she also
Or
took
89.
advantage of the situation
85.
that Orpheus started.
She did, but Tony brings up a point for what purpose? Because why would she need to steal the orchid if she had the prisms?
Yeah.
So there's there's several questions here. Why would she need the orchid if she had the prisms? What is keeping the ladies on ice get her?
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing that I need someone to go back. I think I need to go back and watch that final scene, because if you watch Beyond Salem, I'm gonna go into spoilers here. Everybody, you should have, if you're watching this channel, you should be responsible. I've already seen it by now. So when we last saw Megan is when we first saw the opening of the eyes moment.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're here and we're led to believe that it feels like we've gone backwards.
I think we haven't progressed from that moment, and that's why she needs research. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the moment that we saw in Beyond Salem, I think it stopped there for her and for him.
I would say either that. I would say either that, or counterpoint. We in Salem time, in Days of Our Lives time, have not jumped to that moment.
Oh no! I didn't mean literally time. I meant in terms of the person we're talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have to beat around the bush. If we all know that Bo was in Beyond.
So basically, what I'm saying is when Bo. Yeah, open his eyes. Yeah, have we in Days of Our Lives time not caught up to that moment in Beyond Salem? That is the question I'm asking.
Oh no, I think we have. What I'm saying is I think he opened his eyes, but that was it. That's as far as she got him there. There's no he opened his eyes, started speaking, and he was Bo. I'm saying he opened his eyes. That was the progression. She needs more research, more a cure. She needs something else to get him to the point where he is fully alive, is what I'm saying in terms of time.
Well, because also you have to think of, I don't know if they explained this in Beyond Salem, but we don't know when she acquired Bo's body. And then how long, and obviously Bo was in heaven much longer than the ladies were.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not. So
what do you mean maybe not?
Well, maybe it's another trick, because we were all led to believe that Marlena, Kate, and Kayla were there when we in fact found out that they were in an in-between spot.
Right, but Bo was actually in heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it was said that his soul was snatched, was taken
too early.
Too early.
Yeah.
So then they corrected it.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent him back, just like they sent the girls back. But remember, Bo has been gone for forever. So that means he was up chilling in heaven for quite some time. So if we're putting everything in the timeline, assuming hypothetically, then he got sent down, he popped open his eyes, but then he probably went, because everything is probably still not working.
That's what I'm saying.
He's alive, but he still needs healing.
Yeah.
So then we would have to, again, this come back to the question, where would she need the orchid?
When or why?
Why would she need it?
I don't know. Hopefully.
But Anna brought up, like Anna's missing a bunch of different pieces, but she probably got closer than anyone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think she's her arguments are probably closer than ours at this point, and we have more knowledge. But she put a lot of more stuff together pretty quickly.
Yeah, she just has the wrong person thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I mean, but maybe not. Maybe not. Megan being Megan, she her first choice probably would have been her father, but probably the timing just didn't work. Because if she only found for all we know, maybe she did have him on ice or something. Because we're led to believe that if Stefano revived her, then he knew where she was. She knew exactly where he was. Did we get info on what year exactly she woke up?
No, we only know that she died in 1985.
So that's the other thing. We don't know when she woke up. So we don't know how long she has been undead, as it were. We can kind of assume it was before Bo's passing in 2015.
Yeah.
So we can assume.
So maybe by then she was. Maybe by then she was already healed and just not wanting to return back to Salem, but was keeping her eye on things.
Yeah. Yes. I assume she took Bo right when he died, and she's had him on ice since the day he died.
And Stefano died after that, didn't he?
Yeah, he died after Bo.
He died after Bo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we're led to believe Megan's been around during that whole time. My argument would be that Anna is right. Her first instinct she probably would have snatched Bo, and then she probably would have snatched Stefano if she had the chance. But Anna and Tony are probably right. Stefano was already dying; his body wouldn't have been able to take that, and so thus is the argument for not reviving Stefano. So all y'all people in the chat are saying leave Joe Mascala alone. Yes, we're leaving Joe Mascala alone. He's dead. He rest in peace. He's gone. But
I also think fans have to understand this. Stefano is always going to be a legacy character, and I don't think there's not going to be a time. Obviously, they've hung his photo up over the mantle. It is a part of the set.
Never coming down.
So he's going to be brought up. He's going to be mentioned. You know what I mean? Like he's still going to live on. While Joe has passed, the character of Stefano will probably be 15 years from now, and someone will still mention, is Stefano a part of this? Or Stefano did this. He had his hand in this. I guarantee you.
Or that we got a little bit of that info this week with the Marlena clones that they brought back from 16, almost 20 years ago. Yeah.
Good callback.
Which was a nice little callback.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to know just how this what's going to happen and transpire in this storyline, especially now that we know what day are we on the return of Bo and Hope. If you've been following the days Peacock, so we are 11 days.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
11 days away from the return of Bo and Hope. And
was it Friday moved to Monday or Monday moved to Friday?
What?
Because Peter Ruckel put something online that how he thought it was going to be one day, but it's actually going to be another day.
I don't know.
According to the Peacock Instagram, it's I think it's 11. We're at 11 days now. Let me just double check and make sure. And you guys make sure you go and follow Days Peacock for all up to the minute updates on the return of Bo and Hope. Yes, we are 11 days. As of 7 hours ago when they posted.
We're getting down to the wire there. See what I meant about like the calm before the explosions? Because there's no way to not make that whole week be huge.
Oh, well, but that's going to be the 16th, which is a Thursday. So that week is going to end.
It'll end with them probably.
Yeah. But then almost immediately after, we're also 15 episodes out from Deidre Hall's, was it 5,000?
5,000?
Yeah. We're 15 episodes out from that. So that's going to happen right after, too.
Yeah. Well, it's all about Bo and Hope right now.
Calm before the storm, people.
So things are going to happen. But this is an interesting storyline, and I don't know. We'll see how it continues to play out. That was it with that storyline, right? Did we miss anything?
Yeah.
No, just sadly one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Heading on to our next storyline is Too Little Too Late for Stefan, Chloe, Brady, and the clan.
Brady.
I don't know about y'all, but I actually reached a point where I was like, leave Stefan alone.
Oh yeah.
Y'all stop zapping this man with any and everything. When they were in Eric's room, hooking him up to a waffle iron, a mixer, like I was, last week I think I was like interesting, but now I'm just like, y'all just keep zapping this man like
he's not a chicken.
no. I'm I actually really felt bad, and I was like, Stefan, yeah, you need to go to the hospital just to get checked out, just to make sure like you are okay. But geez, Louise, like,
I mean, it's typical Brady. He's impulsive. He's controlling. He wants to throw caution to the wind, and as long as he gets his goal, well, he got half of his goal because it actually worked. The Chloe stuff is still under, not debatable, but
but who did? But think about what you just said, Justin. Now, who does that sound like? Also, as Chloe so very smartly pointed out,
Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's becoming more. I mean,
yeah. She had the best argument this week for all of that. I really wanted her to just tear him to shreds for the stupidity and the selfishness, but she hit him where it hurt. She was smart. She hit him where it hurt, and she said, "Did you think about Rachel in all of this?" It's like, oh. Like, dude, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't even thought of that, but she's not my child.
Yeah.
Well, everyone thinks about their own needs at the moment.
Well, I think he thought that once Stefan would be cured, and that Stefan would thank him and be like, it was all for nothing, or it was all worth it, I should say.
Well, no, it's like, oh, he can't be in love with two women. Like, let him figure it out.
Yeah.
Let him figure it out, because now Chloe don't want no Brady.
I feel like she's still on the fence, though.
Yeah, that's not it.
Didn't she not look at him and say that? Or
She
did I dream that?
She didn't say that. She said the equivalent of that she was disappointed at him.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how they could possibly go forward if A, he was in jail, B, if his daughter hates her.
Yeah.
And her whole argument is that you're doing all of this to get us back together, when what you should really be focusing on, and I've told you this before, is your daughter.
Yeah.
You're thinking that if you just get rid of Kristen, if you just get rid of Stefan, then everything's just going to go back to normal and we'll be together and in love. That's not what's going to happen.
Chloe is really looking like, I just should have stayed out of Salem.
Right.
Because y'all are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't take this. It's too much. And even with Lee, like, I think Gabby thought she was free for a second, and then Sloan got Lee out of prison, and then she was just kind of like, oof. And then whose bright idea was it to go move in with Wendy?
Yeah.
Lee, that was stupid.
Yeah. Because the previous episode, he was talking to a realtor. It was like, let's get a house, like find me a place because I am married and me and Gabby are going to be together. And
like, his assets aren't frozen. He can buy a house.
But what if his assets are frozen because of being in jail and stuff? Or maybe Daddy put a freeze on it.
I mean, we can. Maybe I would understand. Yeah, but we haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who's not having it though. Gabby, Trip, Wendy.
Well, Trip is actually okay with it to a certain degree. He's just way too nice.
Trip was looking like,
I don't know why any of them are going along with this.
Mm-mm.
I'd have been like, go get your own apartment. I was like, I was just getting ready to move in here with Trip. He's moving in. We may or may not have to find a third roommate, maybe someone our age. Like, I don't want my brother and his forced wife to be sick.
Tyler says, so there are 3 beds and Wendy still slept on the couch. Remember that third room was an office.
The office, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they could have put a blow up mattress in there.
I know, right? I know.
That's going to be an interesting living arrangement. But it's also weird that you would think that Chanel would have just stayed there.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
just
too
taken
many-
over.
Maybe too many bad memories.
Bad?
But too many memories.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
So much so that you just going to go live with your mama?
Allie fled the country.
Bye. The apartment is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she didn't have to see it though. She had so many memories. She fled the country.
Well, listen, if it got so many memories, redecorate. Move the couch to the left, put a new coat of paint on it, change the comforter, and live your life, and throw the toaster away.
I know it made, to me, I said this last week, I thought the conflict was going to be Chanel and Wendy would live there, and then they'd have the Johnny thing. That would be their conflict in their way, but then they went in a totally different direction. And now Trip is sort of kind of there, and yeah.
But I like how Wendy was hinting towards like these triangles that were happening, and you know that she was talking about hers too. I was like, go ahead and say it, Wendy. Go ahead and say it, Wendy. You, Trip, and Johnny. Say, you're not gonna say it, Wendy.
I actually thought she was gonna say her, Chanel, and Johnny.
Although that's what, yeah.
That would have. I think that's where her mind actually went.
I don't know where it went, but I just wanted her to say it because I thought that I could tell that she was thinking it.
Yeah, but I do love that Wendy again. Love Wendy. Can't get enough of Wendy. She turned it around on her big brother and said, "I'll let you pay the rent, but you're sleeping on the couch."
Yeah. I love that none of these, I understand they're young, but none of these people can afford an apartment. Like, no one can ever just afford a place to live.
Apparently, Salem is like LA. It's like,
I guess so. I guess so.
And everybody says at this point, they should have, those like live, work, stay kind of places. That should be the Salem Inn now. Like, no one should stay at the Salem Inn. It shouldn't be a hotel. It should be like, I stay at the Salem Lofts.
Yeah.
In Horton Town Square.
I totally advocate for those arrangements, but I don't know, like they went away for some reason. They were big in the 80s. I don't know why they went away.
What went away?
Like just like the way the work, at least in LA, everything is just too expensive.
They just built some.
They just built some?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That ain't going away.
Are they decently priced?
I have a home. So I didn't need to look. I assume they're decently priced. Somebody has decently moved in, but not us at the Gap. I'm here.
We're getting a lot of repetitives too. Like, it's like no one's learning from their lesson. Like, Trent, didn't you just go through this with Sierra, I don't know, a couple years ago?
Oh, yeah.
You were in love with her, then you moved into the lofts. You know how that worked out? Didn't work out for you with Sierra.
Yeah.
There was something else where I was like, you're going to do this again? It wasn't Wendy. It was someone.
Allie.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was with No, he was with Claire for a while. I completely forgot about that.
He priced down apartments.
Hey, look, it'd be another business.
She can be a real estate tycoon.
She already is a real estate tycoon. Yeah.
I was like, why can't I say it?
That was a surprise for me. I was like, this is an interesting like foursome with these four.
I think it's the living arrangement from hell.
Well, because also that trip is there too, and like you feel something for Wendy. Like you just gonna move. Like I could never move in with my crush.
I don't I don't know
Or-
why he would want to move in and why she would think it's a good idea. Like,
But
Or maybe I
again,
should,
he's
so that way
done
I
this
don't have a crush
before, as you said, Justin. Remember when that whole 4 or 5-some lived in the loft? He's done that before.
And that's what I'm saying. It worked out horribly for him, so I don't know why he would sign up and want to repeat it.
Yeah, stay with your parents. The rent is free, and his dad clearly needs somebody to make sure he's not talking to ghosts.
But sometimes you just want your privacy.
Yeah.
When you grown.
Steve has hardly been at the apartment.
I don't know. I guess none of these younger crowds can afford. They have to triple up.
Well, ain't nobody working.
Well, they all have jobs. That's the
Trip's
thing.
a doctor.
Trip's a doctor. She works. She's
a doctor who needs a roommate. Ain't that something?
These are the actual 2 people who do have jobs.
I know, right? Yeah.
Chanel owns her own business, but actually it would probably make more sense for her to save up some more money if she needs to look for a new place. Yeah.
And poor
the real estate of Salem.
Yeah. Something
but
like
what
that.
do we? So now it's interesting because now we got this. Gabby has a choice now, and it's not. I said this last week, Tony. I don't know if you caught it, but I like the fact that Lee is offering her sort of more of a devil's bargain, where he's not blackmailing her in the sense of you need to stay married to me or I'm going to expose your past. You know what I mean? He's basically saying, I'll give you these shares, you stay married to me, and in the process of these 6 months, my goal is to win you back and make you fall back in love with me. This is sort of the most honest, sort of saccharine, sort of devil's bargain we've ever probably had on this show.
Because normally we hear that playing to someone else and not the person.
Yeah. And so it's interesting that Gabby didn't immediately run off with Stefan. She was like, she basically like succumbed to Lee in that situation. I was kind of like, is this Demira shares at this point, are they really worth that much to you where you're now saying no to Stefan?
She didn't say no.
I think
you let your husband close the door and you let him take control of that situation. I mean,
I think she's just tired.
Yeah, I mean,
she was in shock.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
it was like a lot. That was a lot. That all happened really fast. She'd already made up her mind. She'd already, in the span of basically a few hours, she thought that she was going to be, free of Lee. He was going to jail, and then he wasn't going to jail, and then she had to move in with his sister, and then Stefan came and got and said he loved her again. So that was a lot to happen in the last few hours. I think she was just in shock.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So. Was there anything else about that storyline? I mean, we know that Sloan got Lee out. Rafe is upset because he got that text from Trask that was basically like, let him go. And he's just like,
yeah.
I'll get you, you little Lee.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to, we celebrated a little bit of an anniversary this week. 25 years ago, Nicole met Eric for the first time.
Did that peacock money come through?
Yes. Well, I was very surprised that they kept Jensen Ackles, and I was just like, and Nicole even said we were really young back then, and I think she said
we were different people.
We were different people.
Yeah,
and I think she said that just because, like, of course, like they were going to use that footage. Yeah. But honestly, that could have been Greg at a very young age. Like I bought it.
I've never cared about any of that stuff. I feel like it's you're watching a soap opera. Other people played it. Like you just go along with it. I know they're like trying to keep continuity, but I'm like, I don't like just show it.
They both had blonde tips back in the day. It was a phase that we'd all rather forget.
Yeah. Is it really that? I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe it's really jarring to other people that different people played so they can't do flashbacks. So I don't know. I'm always like, show the flashback. Show them. Even if it's not, at least in this one, she's actually the same person. I mean, a lot of the cast, if they did flashbacks, it would be two different people in those roles. So, I mean.
Well, I mean, the big part of it that we know is residuals.
That's really the issue. So, yeah, like you said, the Peacock.
So now they got some money.
Yeah. There's a part of me that wants to tweet Jensen Ackles and be like, did you get a check this week?
Oh, I guarantee you somebody did.
His agent got,
Yeah, he's probably going to get a check in the mail from Days of Our Lives and be really, really surprised. Yeah. Somebody by now has told him, hey, just heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, to pay him, but you're right. It is kind of surprising that more people don't do it, which should let you know, guys, the state of the amount of money that has been bled from soaps in the last 20 years, that they don't want to pay the residual checks. But paying that costs a heck of a lot less than it would have been to refilm all those scenes.
There's no need to do it.
But also there was no need to, because those scenes were very iconic back then. And oh my, you know what? I look at Ari Zucker and I'm just like, she is just so stunning. Yeah. Like even back then, like that moment where, she was like coming out of the water with her hair slicked back and her eyes are just so piercing. And then even recently, if you guys follow her on social media, her and Sean Christian were doing a photo shoot together. And I was just like,
yeah, she's gorgeous.
Just stunning, gorgeous. Oh, she had the extensions in her hair. She was just like, just living her life. I was like, yes, Ari, you better get it. But it was interesting though. Just were they celebrating Ari or?
See, that was going to be my nitpick. Kind of how when they did the Marlene and Death thing, it was all about Marlene and John. I wish this one was a little bit more about Ari because it's really Ari. The relationship is tied into that because that was her storyline coming in. But I just felt it couldn't give us a few shots of her and Sammy back then, her and Kate. Well, yeah, it would have been Lauren back then. Her and Kate,
yeah. Well, they did. They showed that one moment, and then they made it all about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
about her and Eric. But I'm like,
God, show a thing with her and Abe. I mean, like they could have, yeah.
Or if there was a way to tie it in, like, oh my God, I've lived in Salem now for 25 years, and when I first moved here, that's when I first met Eric. And maybe just have that nostalgic conversation with Abe and Paulina about and somehow intertwine like Kate and Sammy and maybe, Victor, I don't know. Yeah. And they mentioned Victor, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was very, I did appreciate the fact that they at least acknowledged this, that 80% of her time on the show, Eric has not been on the show. So I like that when Paulina was like, it's been 25 years. And then Nicole had to be like, well, hold up. It's if we count the number of years we've actually been together, it's very minuscule compared to the 25 years we've known each other. Yeah.
Dylan is wanting to make sure that we remember Misty Circle.
Who?
Dylan.
Oh yeah.
No, who's Misty? I don't know who that is.
That was her porn name.
Oh, her porn name. Oh, got it.
How do you not remember Misty
Circle? Oh, the thing is, Circle.
Well, we also got. I mean, there was that. So we knew about that, and then we ended up getting a lot more of that backstory, a decade later as well. So,
and not for nothing, we all remember it was Billy and Austin retreat again. It was literally their history given to Nicole and Brandon.
Yeah, so it was just
yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, Tony. There's just so much that could have been touched upon. Even in the in between, we completely skipped over the part where Eric went off the rails and killed her fiance.
Yeah.
Like, we just jumped from he came to town, then we fell in love, and then we got married. I'm like, there was some stuff that happened in between there. Hold on.
We
They
skipped
broke
the
up.
sleeping with Roman. We skipped that. We skipped.
Oh God, I wish we would.
The kidnapping of Sydney, the slap heard across Salem between her and Sammy.
There's so much.
There were a lot of good moments. Do you sometimes feel like, and I just thought of this, when they have like these anniversaries, if it should be maybe like a spin-off moment where they can just walk through and just reflect their time and we get flashbacks and stuff? Or do we like how they have it intertwined in the main show? Is it just like a separate little thing for us on YouTube or on Peacock? Because there are moments where I like revisiting those moments, you know, and seeing that again. And, you know, kudos to them for always trying to figure out how to like weave it through.
Yeah. I have to say, I actually did like this. I like them using Paulina as the vehicle, as someone new who isn't familiar, to say like, oh, how long have you guys been, how long have you guys been together and not together, and your journey itself. So that made sense. I wish they do stuff like that more. I just wish it was a little bit more Ari centered than just, Nicole and Eric centered.
Yeah.
But no, I like the idea of it coming up, because it would come up in a casual conversation or something like that. That part of it seemed natural to me.
Yeah, they weaved it in with a character who hasn't been on the canvas, who genuinely wanted to know more. So that was a really organic way to do it. Whereas, somebody just brought up that when they did AIDS anniversary, it was a little different, where yes, they were revisiting a lot of his old stories, but it was also like the big epic Lexi reunion.
But that was Paulina too. It was, remember, it was Paulina in what's her name? Julie,
yeah. So that was very well done as well. It's like just kind of like weave it together. But yeah, Tony, you're right. I think it wouldn't hurt to, now that we have the Peacock vehicle and they're posting so much more on social, we could afford to do like a look back. And I think I think the actors would enjoy that as well. Just have a look back at their like most iconic moments.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, well, see, now I'm thinking, when Bo and Hope come back, are we going to get another?
Oh my God, we've been getting that, but we've been getting that so much on social, though.
Quick question: I feel like we've talked about this before, but I'm curious. And I think I know where you stand, Tony. I personally, Bo and Hope are not my preferences for each other. Are you guys like Bo and Hope together? Yeah, they're not. I actually prefer them with other. I don't mind them together. And I like them together, but I actually prefer them with other people. And I think they're better suited with other people. But
what?
Who do you think they're better suited for?
I think Billy is a better match for Bo. Then I would put Carly, and Hope I would actually put third, actually, in terms of person. And
wait, who?
For Hope, I actually
you said Bo is Carly, Billy,
and it would be Billy, Carly, and then Hope. If I were naming the people who I would want him with. And for Hope, I would actually do Patrick Lockhart, then what's his name? Daniel Cosgrove.
Aiden?
Aiden, yes. And then I would do
Justin, tell me you're punking me right now.
No.
Girl, he done sat there and spoke for 5 minutes about this. I don't think it's a punk.
No.
I mean, to be fair, if I always rooted for Hope and Aiden.
Yeah. If I had my choice, I wouldn't put them together, even though I like them together.
I mean, it wasn't until they took a left turn with Aiden. I was all for, Hope moving on with Aiden.
So, Araceli, you're a definitely huge Bo and Hope fan to the they belong together kind of a thing.
Look, I obviously was not alive when they were first together, so I can't say that I'm a super fan, but I have been around long enough to see them with those other people and see It did not work. No. So no.
Yeah. Bo and Hope to me have always been like that high school couple who are together because they're
Forever.
used to being together. But then they're the high school couple who gets divorced when they're 50 years old because they're like, we're 50 years old now. We're hanging on to a relationship that, we started when we 30 years ago. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've always seen them like that. I think
Your thoughts are, Araceli.
Yeah, I think other people are suited better for them.
I've lost my words and just no.
You haven't lost your words.
No.
This is the
first. Why Bo and Hope? Why Bo and Hope for you? Why Bo and Hope for you?
No, for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Other than they just belong together.
I will counter argument with you, Justin, that they could be considered that high school couple, if not for the fact that they were torn apart so many damn times. Many times not of their own free will. In the last few decades since they were together, since they first got together, they've spent at least a solid decade, maybe a decade and a half, apart. Torn apart, not by their own free will. So your argument kind of doesn't work in the sense that you would be talking about a couple that has stayed together, that has weathered those every day-to-day storms.
Well, no, I'm saying I think their relationship is built. Well, I was using that but I'm saying I think their relationship is built on their super coupledom and not where these two characters are now as middle-aged people. That's why I think other people are suited best to them.
The other thing about that argument as well that I'm going to counter is that they're not really middle-aged people if one of them was frozen for the last few years. While his body aged, he was like, his body's been frozen for the last few years. Before that, he spent 2-3 years in captivity. So there was not much going on there. There was not much emotional growth going on anywhere. Nothing was happening.
What? I don't know. That's your argument to be saying middle-aged is.
Well, that's my argument for saying you're making the argument middle-aged people, their state of mind, the storms that they've been through together, things like that, but they haven't been together.
Well, here's the thing. Bo and Hope are a legacy couple because from what I know, they had a love strong enough that always brought them back together through thick and thin, through fake death, through kidnappings, through other women, everything, right? So I can see why it's like Bo and Hope. Yes, love lift us up where we belong. But when they killed off Bo and Aiden came in, I felt like Aiden was the only one that I felt like Hope could have had a future with. And I think they completely ruined that. Like, I didn't see the sparks between her and Rafe. But Bo and Hope are, Justin, you hit it. They're, the people that you knew in high school that were like, oh my God, Bo and Hope are so cute together. Yeah. They are going to be married and have wonderful kids. And they did that, right? Because they live in small town Salem. But I think if they had kept going, Aiden and Hope would have been a better thing if they didn't do all the things that they did.
So for me, I think of counteract them with Steve and Kayla. I understand why Steve, I get a coupledom from Steve and Kayla now at their age that I won't necessarily say I always got from Bo and Hope, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just prefer them with other people. I'm fine with them together. I like them together. I think that there are other people that are better matches for both of them than each other. And
I would agree with you, but not those people. New people maybe, but not those people.
I mean, there obviously had to be something about Okay, let me ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Out of, we'll start with Hope. Out of Hope's men, who would Bo feel most threatened by? If Bo was alive and Bo and Hope broke up, this is all hypothetical, people,
Mm-hmm.
and you can comment below too. Hypothetically, if Bo and Hope separated, both were still living in Salem. Both had all the people that Hope ended up with, and then all the people that Bo has been or would end up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who would Bo feel most threatened by?
I'd say Aiden. I think.
Aiden?
Yeah.
To my memory, the one he actually really was threatened by, and that was more having to do with circumstances than the person, was Patrick Lockhart.
Yeah.
Shoot, some people even brought up, you know what? I probably Franco.
Oh, see, I never got them together. I never.
No.
That's when I started watching.
Hope never really had, but yeah, to your point, Tony, that they were always the couple that got back together because they're out of all the hopes of the relationships, there was no real serious person that ever was like, oh, this is a serious contender for Hope's heart. Nobody ever really got that vibe. The minute that Bo came back into the picture, everybody was always like, oh no, this person has no chance against Bo. It was different the other way around, which I'll give you
that's
credit.
Also the writing too. They never gave Hope out. Actually, Patrick was the only one that fought Bo for Hope.
Yeah,
because Bo was dead when Aiden came around, and yeah.
Okay, now the reverse question:
Mm-hmm.
Who would Hope feel threatened by?
Oh, it was Billy.
Always been Billy. Yeah,
always
it's
Billy.
always. I mean, she's said that many times. I mean, yeah. That's why I always prefer.
They have a kid together that I would like them to acknowledge.
Who?
Chelsea.
I called her Georgia for some reason.
Oh,
but
because that was the name that
was the
she
original
was
name.
given at
Swamp Girl. She was Swamp Girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, wouldn't it be nice if, like, with the return of Bo and Hope, that we did see Chelsea?
Lisa Rinna.
I've been saying it for like years. It's more annoying to me. Like, I've never had to see her. If you know the actress doesn't want to come back, or if they don't want to do a recast, but the fact that they don't even say her name, that they say that when Bo passed away, they acted like he only had 2 children, that annoyed the heck out of me. Like, say her name. She is a person who exists.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to hear about alien twin Cassie, who hasn't been on the canvas since 2004, but we don't get the acknowledgement of Bo's other child, who was in a major storyline with the death of their son.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't even say her name anymore. That's a problem.
Well, I feel like there could have been a way for Chelsea to come back in, because isn't she over?
She's in London.
Countess W.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
No, she's a physical therapist.
No, she's a
physical therapist. She's a behavioral therapist. Because remember, she used to work with Theo.
Oh, well then, honey, she definitely could come back.
Yeah.
They all need behavioral problems.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they all do. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
That was just a little. Yeah, I just wanted to know what you guys thought.
We kind of went off on a little tangent. All right, but happy 25 years, Eric and Nicole. Thank you for all of that. Speaking of Nicole, EJ and Nicole are on the case. They done figured it out. They done figured out that Stefan is drugging them.
And this is why I love her with EJ. She can be herself with him.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to be an angel, and she doesn't need to go so far into the dark side. Like, she can be like, okay, I'm down for some revenge.
Isn't it interesting how, like, you can see a difference when they're with certain people? Like, I can see the difference when Nicole is with EJ and when Nicole is with Eric.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
And the funny thing is, I know, like, this, and this this relates to the Bow and Hope thing, which I won't break up again, but it's the idea that this person belongs with this person, so we're going to always put them with this person, where the reality is, again, she has a way more extensive history with EJ than she does with Eric. But Eric's the love of her life because he's the first love. And I guess that's more where I'm coming from with Bow and Hope. It's the putting them together because they're supposed to be together, even though I feel like they click better with other people. I think Nicole clicks way better with EJ than she does with Eric. Do I mind her with Eric? No, but I prefer her with EJ.
Like, the difference would be, like, Bow and Hope actually went the distance. They went ahead and got married. They had a child. Yes, they got, there's all this history afterwards, but they actually made it at least to that point. Whereas Eric and Nicole never did. And she acknowledged that, I wonder what would have happened if I had, just stayed with him. But we never saw that. She went off. She had this whole other history. She, she had other children, which unfortunately, who unfortunately did not live. She had EJ's children.
Two, yeah.
She had 2 children with EJ.
Yeah, not Eric.
Who both passed away.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like them together.
Who? EJ and Nicole?
Yeah. There's an honesty there.
Yeah, and an openness and a trust and everything like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can see them with both. But I think EJ, again, it's like being with someone who knows you but still loves you completely, who knows both sides of you. Like, I think that about EJ and Nicole, Sammy and Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that, like, Lucas knows Sammy and can still love her. Like, I like that. Instead of it, I mean, even like, yes, Xander and Sarah, but I felt like the person who really will accept Xander for who he is Gwen. Because they're both kind of one and the same.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So, but anyway, all right. Well, those were your top storylines. And before we get into tidbits, just want to remind you guys to please make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and listen to us on your favorite podcast stations. We are there. And go buy our merch. And also support our friend JLJ Media on YouTube. Go and subscribe to all of his stuff as well. And also make sure you keep telling us your thoughts because we do want to hear from you. So make sure you comment below. All right. So speaking of Xander and Sarah.
This is what I was forgetting. I was saying people repeating patterns. This is Sarah doing it again. And she actually acknowledged it.
Did what? She did what?
She acknowledged the fact that she already kept a child from Eric, and now she's going along with the same thing to keep one from Xander, or at least to think about keeping one from Xander.
I want to tell Sarah, leave Xander alone. Honey, you done divorced him. You done got mad. He don't owe you no explanation on nothing. Like the fact that she went over there and was all like, what did you do? How did you tell me? If I was Xander, I would look at her and said, I ain't got to tell you a thing. Like if you walk away with whatever opinions you have about Xander, instead of understanding the fact that like he wasn't working, you were barely making ends meet, like he was doing a lot to make sure that he could, you know, that he could, what's the word I'm looking for? Support, not
Support
support.
him. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Had a
Like,
living. Yeah.
take care of her,
Yeah. I know when she barged in, I was like, wait, what's she complaining about now? And I was like, oh, Jack and Jennifer. Okay. Like, I didn't know you cared about the Spectator that much.
And I was like, ooh, not her being pregnant and not the nurse clocking it. The nurse was like, you sure it ain't anything else?
Right. Wink,
Do,
wink.
do,
Yeah.
do, do, do. And poor Rex was like, oh my gosh, well. And I'm like, oh, do, 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 do.
Rex,
I called it.
Doctor.
I called it. Didn't I call it, Justin? You said that. You said not to jump the gun. I called it. He's that stupid.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
But yeah, he's a doctor. Honey, I'm going to need you to think more with this and not this.
Yeah.
Ugh.
In fairness, he did say, like, okay, when was the last time you slept with Xander? So at least he asked that question and it wasn't.
But for him to, it's the.
I know, it was silly to assume that, it was his baby just off the bat. I mean,
like she had a husband.
Yeah.
Very much not that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't thinking. He was just thinking about, Valentine's Day.
Which also really not that long ago.
Yeah, no, that was the clincher, yeah.
Like that.
Like you know how biology works, right?
Yeah, like
he should. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not 2 weeks. Yeah. There's no it's like how I always say there's no right way, but there is a wrong way. There is no set of rules for, women's first trimester, but there is a set of like hard no's, and 2 weeks after, no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do feel like though, when it comes to the Spectator, Jack was having that conversation with Gwen, and Gwen was not happy with Lady Whistleblowers. But I think there is a part of Gwen that really does want to keep up the integrity of the paper, and and I think there's a small part of her that wants to do it to impress Jack.
I agree with you. I think when she got the job there and was really working hard and being a reporter, I think she had it gave her a good sense of purpose. She wasn't scheming. She was living at the Horton house. She had her dad. Things were going well for her. Mm-hmm. Also, she could have easily just blackmailed him for money. She could have said, give me $100,000, but she specifically wanted to take the Spectator from. So I agree with you that I think she's interested in doing a good job.
Yeah, but that wasn't her idea. That was Xander's.
Even still, though, she could have said, well, I don't want to. Why would I want to take a paper? She's signing up to do work. It's still, it's still a job she's inheriting.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was good of Jack to at least acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But part of me thought everything that he said this week to her and the way he said it was what should have been said before.
Yeah.
And had he had he said it the way he said it this week to her, then it wouldn't have gotten this far.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been an ultimatum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Xander is fed up. Xander feels like we should retitle the song Tyrone to Xander. And Xander singing it. I'm getting tired of yo.
But he's still holding on now, even with the mix-up, the clerk mix-up with the divorce papers.
Well, now he's he just thinks oh, this is a sign from the universe. We're meant to be, and little does he know. And then I was sitting there thinking oh, miss, tell me the truth. Tell me what's going on. No, right? You sitting there clutching your baby like you at the MTV Awards and just finished singing Love on Top, and you about to do a reveal and do a microphone drop and not letting Xander know that you got a baby on board.
Yeah.
Now tell me, Miss Jones, how does it feel? When you gotta tell somebody the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, and now you trying to keep secrets, Sarah. Keep rubbing your belly. You rubbing your belly ain't gonna make it a Taco Bell food belly. That's a baby that you gotta tell about.
Yeah. And actually, if she's if it being Xander's baby, she'd be pretty far along actually now. She's not gonna be hiding it for much longer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, yeah. My mom just said she needs to tell it. My mom has made it onto the show, everybody. I hope that Tyler says maybe this is an abortion storyline. We don't need that, and especially when her baby passed away, you're gonna kill another one. Like, girl,
oh no.
Let's not do that. All right. Well, hello to this is my pity party. We got Johnny, Chanel, Trip, Wendy, and Joey. I mean, I feel like we kind of covered this.
Except for the Johnny part, which I was so happy that they acknowledged that Allie really just left town and didn't even drop him a line.
No, she did.
Like not even a hateful line, which she could have done, but just nothing.
She said, "Peace out. When's the next flight to New Zealand?"
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that's low.
Mm-hmm.
That's messed up. But then Chanel was also like, hello, this is my pity party. Hello. I'm the one that got dumped.
Chanel, girl, relax. Like,
calm down. You still got sweet bits.
Yeah. It's okay. Allie screwed over everybody.
Yeah, like he can be mad too. Yeah. You don't own Allie. Yeah.
Yeah. She even screwed over Wendy.
Who?
Allie, she even screwed over Wendy, having that poor girl sleep on the couch this whole time, living in an uncomfortable apartment with all this tension going on, and then just saying, "Okay, here's Elise, bye."
Well,
I mean, yeah.
At least she said, "Here's Elise," instead of "Get out, bye."
Yeah. She didn't say I'm moving, so you have to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, yeah. I mean, but you brought up the like, why did it? Wendy was living with them long enough that they could have given her an air mattress in that office. Why was you making that poor girl sleep on the couch?
Right. Well, we talked about that.
Like, just.
And not Joey playing matchmaker. Joey's giving himself a pat on the back.
Now that Joey's got his own girlfriend, he's not worried about Wendy. He's like, I can afford to put you two crazy kids together, I guess.
I mean, at least he's trying to be a good brother, which we never really got a chance to see too much of before. So it's nice. Yeah.
All right, and goodbye to Sonny Kiriakis. So Sonny's leaving. He had his final goodbye at the Brady pub. Little awkward run-in with Alex and Chad. Alex was like, "I thought this was just family, yo."
Yeah.
And
I liked him being petty, though.
Huh?
I like that. I liked him being petty towards Chad. I like when they allow people to have like real feelings. Like I always liked the fact that Lucas hated Daniel. Like I like that. Like I like that he never got over it and just hated him.
Yeah, it's warranted.
Yeah.
Like he's not actively going after him, but being a little petty, doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
What about Sonny? With that, there is a new seat available as CEO. Who raise your hand if you thought it was going to go to Alex?
I assumed. I didn't know this was going to be a storyline.
It made the logical sense.
Now, raise your hand as you were watching it when Maggie said it's going to another Kiriakis, that as they were cutting to Xander talking about his divorce papers, you also thought Justin was going to say, and for some reason, Victor made you CEO of Titan. No one else saw that except me? The whole time, Maggie was saying like, "There's another Kyriakis that's going to be the CEO," and they would cut to Xander. I was like, "Xander's about to be CEO," and I'm like, "They did all this for the Spectator to have jobs, and now he's about to be CEO of Titan.
Yeah.
Is the Spectator going to go under Titan?" Like, I had all these questions, and then all of a sudden, Maggie said, "It's me."
Oh.
I love it.
I like this, and I mentioned this before. When Maggie was doing the stuff with Gabby and Stefan, or was it Jake? No, it was Jake. Yeah, where they felt like they were doing this whole like Lady Macbeth thing with Maggie, where Victor put her in charge and she was dealing with Gabby and Jake, and I was like, I like that side of Maggie. I like them giving her something to do, and so I'm actually really liking this.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like,
oh, like a weird choice.
Like, Maggie, are you sure you want to be CEO?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Like, because if I was Maggie's age, I'd be like, get somebody else to do it. That's what I would say.
But I like that it just shows that like she brought up all of her qualifications. Like, no, I'm not. I have never worked in the corporate business world, but I know business. I'm my husband's most trusted advisor, and I know how to keep I know how to keep things on track.
Yeah, I like that she acknowledged the fact of what I don't know, that's okay, but I have the instincts, I'm intelligent, and that's what I need you for, Alex. So we always talk about like no one wants to be number 2 or no one wants to be like second in command, and here she is acknowledging that and saying, no, you're not CEO, but you're second in command. Let's make a partnership kind of a thing. And I know this was shot most likely before John Aniston passed, but part of me wonders, were they preparing, so to speak, for Victor's eventual death, whenever that may be? And so
they've been trying. I think the show has been trying to go back and forth on that for years.
Yeah.
And Sonny was always going to be the obvious choice, but then we lost the original actor. And then Zach Tinker's career is kind of taking off, so he's going back and forth, and so and just character wise, it just makes sense for him to go be with Will. So, because otherwise, we've been saying for months that this whole back and forth long distance thing with the relationship doesn't work. It doesn't work for the character. It doesn't work for the show. So. It seems like I think that they've been trying to tinker with that for no pun, not an intentional pun, but they've been trying to tinker with that for years to try to find the right person. And it does seem like Alex does have the business savvy, and he seems to actually have a killer instinct like Victor, but he also is good at taking advice. He's not above taking advice and asking for it, which is a really good thing in a leader. But yeah, he could learn some stuff from Maggie. Mainly how not to have your private life in the tabloids.
I totally thought that Maggie fired Alex, and I was like, "Oh, this is how we starting off?" And then she was like, "I was just kidding."
Yeah,
I was like. Shout out to the Days of Our Lives joining us in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all go check out all the videos and fun content that they post with some of your favorite stars of days. Make sure you go check that out. And I don't know, Days of Our Lives, maybe you'll consider one of us joining in on that fun. Was that subtle?
As subtle as possible. As subtle as we've ever been.
My mama always said, never hurts to ask.
Yep. Whose mouth doesn't get fed, right?
This is very true. And also, someone mentioned how Alex and Stephanie still have like a lot of chemistry and a lot of heat towards each other. And I was like, because Stephanie looked a little shook
Yes, she did. Yes,
When Alex was like, we're gonna have to work together, and I was like, oh. But can we just say Stephanie was all of us as Leo was spilling the tea? A threesome? You slept with her? I was like,
that's when
Stephanie
you
right now
know
is us.
that self-righteousness wanted to come out, but she had to stop herself to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm with Chad now, and I slept with Chad on day one. So like, for a second there I was like, not Stephanie. Stephanie's not gonna slut shame him. We're not going there, right? And then thankfully they didn't.
But I was also like, Stephanie, girl, you can't say nothing, because the second Chad was like, I like you, you were like,
that's what I'm saying. First date.
You want to go to my room?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
So let's not go there. And
is anyone else really looking forward to Lady Whistleblower's articles?
No.
I kind of am.
You know why I'm not looking forward to Lady Whistleblower's articles is because his tea is incorrect. Like, if you're gonna spill tea, make sure it's good tea and make sure that it's correct.
He did correct
Did
it.
wrong? Wait, what?
Lady Whistleblower is going to take whatever small amount and just like twist it. We knew the truth, but like when Alex was talking, he'd be like, "Okay, got it," and I was like, "Oh no, you about to take everything and."
No, but when he was actually confronting him, I'm like, "Where's the lie?"
I mean, it wasn't. It was a mesh. It was a mashup. It wasn't like, correct. It was a mashup.
But he did have a threesome with the girls. He did help Ali cheat on Chanel.
So what if in the Salem Spectator tomorrow, there's a headline that says Araceli yells at Tony.
No lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a gossip column does that. They're not gonna.
Yeah. It's a gossip column. Yeah. That's the thing. It is a gossip column.
It doesn't have to get the order of events in play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Araceli doesn't run a business that could be affected by her, her words. I'm here for free. y'all get me, and I can do what I want here with respect.
Well, all right. Well, that was your week of days. And now we're going to go into our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. I said that. And then I realized I have to press the button. Yeah. This is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap. Right. Oh, snap. Okay. So listen, I had a 3 snaps, and then I realized there was one that was better. Okay. So now I'm going to do the one that was better, and I don't have a photo for it. But I will say this, sometimes in the middle of chaos, you have to remember the important things. And Dr. Rolfe did just that. Dr. Rolfe said, I'm out of here. But first, I need to take this clam chowder.
And don't forget the oyster crackers.
And he was out. And I was like, get your food, honey. You done worked. Get your food. So for that, Dr. Rolfe, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Snap! Oh, snap! Because that was good. That was good.
What was the one you were gonna do? Do you want to say that?
I can tell you the other the one that I was going to do. The other one that I was going to do was sometimes you just get tired of someone's crap. And I think these 3 people have reached that point of just being tired of someone's stuff. And those people are no other than Salem's newest residents, Wendy, Gabby, and Trip. are so sick of Lee.
Yep.
They are tired of Lee. They looking at Lee like, girl, bye.
They're all of us.
Yeah.
Yes. So my 3 snaps were going to go to Wendy, Gabby, and Trip
Okay.
for just being tired of Lee's stunt shows
Uh-huh.
and shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. All right. So now we don't have a caption that this week because Michael Mattis is out. Michael Mattis is currently taking photos of some of world-renowned folks. But we're going to move on to our next thing, which is
Those were the days. Yes, this week's Those Were the Days. Take you back to February 27th, 2008, where we had, unfortunately, the funeral of Sean Brady, which was really sad and heartbreaking and a big shock. I really did not think that they would ever kill off Sean and Caroline. Usually when you've been on the show that long and gotten to that point, they sort of give you a farewell when the actor has passed or whatnot, and that was a big storyline. I remember being really shocked about that one when Ava sort of brought down the plane, speaking of Ava, and Sean Brady was the casualty. Well, he was the casualty. He did it sort of saving the rest of his family, and so they all survived. He unfortunately died, but yeah, that was February 27th, 2008, the funeral of Sean Brady.
And
those were the days. Those were.
I mean, they weren't happy days, but
Yeah.
And now it's time for It's a Gift.
And this week's gift goes to. I don't know if I'm gonna get through it without giggling.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Oh god.
No one's needed. It just gets funnier on repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all you're gonna say about it.
I can't stop laughing. I was just it gets funnier.
And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time for News and Gossip.
Starting off, we have a big some congrats to Chandler Massey, who again is no longer on the Days show, but he is sort of still working and is integrating himself more and more into the Hallmark channel. He has been cast in a new Hallmark movie called The Professional Bridesmaid with Hunter King. This one's actually going to premiere pretty soon, I think in April, but we'll let you know when it gets closer. But yeah, so good for Chandler, still working and interested in acting. I know he does other stuff, but yeah, so you'll get to see him. If not as Will Horton, you will see him in the Hallmark channel.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have an update for some other work that Miss Jackie Harry is doing. You can catch her on new episodes of the show Funny You Should Ask, which airs on Game Show Network, Comedy TV, and in syndication. So check out your local listings for that.
Yes, we have a little blast from the past here, a little Lockhart family reunion. For those of you who didn't see on social media, Judy Evans, Deidre Hall, Susan Seaforth Hayes were out shopping and sort of doing like a girls' day. And they even posted and did photos of themselves out and having lunch and whatever. And then a couple of days later, we see that they actually ran into Brody Hutzler, aka Ian Brody Hutzler, who played Patrick Lockhart on the show. Just serendipitously ran into them while they were out shopping and hanging out. And yeah, he put out this on his Instagram. That was lovely, sort of running into old co-hosts, and then Judy again reposted it as well. So yeah, speaking of Patrick Lockhart, how we were talking about it earlier, but yeah, I'd be down for a Patrick Lockhart return. Yeah, those of you who don't know, he was a rival for Hope. He's Bonnie's son, Sierra's original father. And then that weird thing with EJ, which we don't talk about, but yeah. So yeah, bring him back for Hope or EJ, I guess.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
What's
right,
next?
And then we have the Day Players band, which I know that there was a lot of travel woes this week. So I'm sorry for the people who got stuck, who couldn't come to their last show. Their next upcoming tour dates are going to be April 23rd in Royal Oak, Illinois. April 22nd and April 23rd, Royal Oak and Batavia, Illinois. And then May 6th in Montreal, Quebec. Tickets are still on sale. Please go to their website. It's a wonderful show. They put together a really good set. It's a fun day out. So please go and support.
Yeah. And next we have some updates on those fan events we've been telling you about. Tickets are still available. The first one that Eric Martzoff is doing with Rick Springfield. That one is taking place in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Go to rickspringfieldgetaway.com. And the next two are Starstruck fan events. The one in Atlanta, March 11th through 12th. Eric Martzoff, Matt Ashford, Mike Manning, and Brandon Barash. And then the one that our very own Mr. Tony Moore is hosting, April 15th through 16th. Billy Flynn, Eric Martzoff, Zach Tinker, Greg Rickard, Dan Furgo, Carson Boatman, Teo Penglis, and Leanne Hundley. So that's actually going to be a great one. So yeah, go. All tickets and information, starstruckfanevents.com.
Perfect. And that was
News and gossip.
And now it's time for you to see what is coming up this week on Peacock's exclusive Days of Our Lives.
I just got some news you're going to want to hear.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me, Chris Hemsworth.
Fine mess you two have gotten yourselves into.
You're living with a boy.
I will fire you. Are you interested in this? We're together now, finally. Tramp, bitch. Oh, I invented that move.
Okay. Okay.
Tramp. Oh, I invented that move. Okay. Yes. All right.
That's how you do promo.
Stuff.
Next week looks like it's about to give. And shout out to who did the promo? The promo looks good.
Yeah, it's like good. Really good.
Like we like this. We like it. We like that.
First, I thought it was one of those, like, sometimes they do, like, they encompass a whole season or something. That's what I thought it was at first. And I was like, oh no, that's the week's promo, not a spring.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's been our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you come back next week where we're serving up another full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive Days of Our Lives. But before we head out, Justin Lee Hareld, where can the peoples find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Araceli, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And even though he's not here, go stalk him and give him some love. Michael Mattis can be found on Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis. And of course, you can find me on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and the YouTubes at Lounging with Tony. And shameless plug, go check out my brand new The Countdown music video show that I just started, available on TikTok and Instagram. Check it out at Lounging with Tony. And that has been our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you back here next week for another full dish of your favorite Peacock exclusive soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.